I'm mixing 2 equal parts of epoxy putty. Over the next half hour, it will cure and end up very strong. Last time I cut up this Lady Deathstryke figure, separating the arm sockets, the neck, and the upper and lower torso. I'm going to use the epoxy putty to build a sort of cartoonishly elongated torso like you usually see on a werewolf. Okay, it's turned a uniform color, so I know it's mixed. Now I'm just going to put a little bit on each part. Some on the neck to start. This arm socket. And this one. When you first mix this stuff, it's really sticky, which is good. It'll stick to all the parts that I need to attach to each other. And those parts are going to hold on to it extra well because they're so jagged and ripped up from the rotary tool. Now it's time to make the new section of torso between the two arms. If you've seen this Lady Deathstryke figure, you see her shoulders were not very wide at all. So I'm going to be rebuilding them significantly further apart. The non-instant cure time for this epoxy, combined with its tendency to sag in the beginning, is going to make this part a little annoying. Once all the parts are together, I'm going to have to keep realigning them until it really starts to stiffen up. If I just attach all this and then set it down, it's going to end up a mess. So I'm just gonna keep adding little parts where I see could use more coverage. Now the annoying part is that each of these little sections of the body are going to end up drifting apart. I'm gonna have to push them back together and realign them just over and over for a few tens of minutes. I probably should be doing this with the 3D pen, which the plastic cools down much quicker than this stuff cures. But that nozzle is currently clogged, and I just don't have the energy to fix that right now. That, and I sort of think epoxy's better for this situation. It'll be more rigid. And this is really the strength of epoxy putty when you're building like solid pieces. You can make thinner parts like teeth and horns and stuff, but they are easy enough to break off if you really want to break them. You drop something that has epoxy horns on it or whatever, some of them are going to break off. So I will make the majority of his head with plastic. Also have to fairly regularly move the arms and other moving parts just to make sure the epoxy doesn't block any movements. I'm using a clay sculpting tool just to cut some basic muscle details in. But honestly, those are going to melt away in a few minutes, so I shouldn't really even be doing this. This session is really about getting all the moving parts aligned correctly and getting the basic shape. Fortunately, once this is cured, I will be able to add more epoxy putty in order to sculpt the details, and it will stick pretty easily. You can already see the arms sagging, and I'm going to have to move those up. Well, you get the idea. I don't want to bore you too much. The rest is just gonna be me making sure everything's in the right position. So next time I will be smoothing things out with the rotary tool.